Hey guys, so we're back. So as you can see, our gardening project is going along nicely. Everything's running just fine. It's all keeping up. Over here, way back in the day when we first started doing this, I had some bootstrap projects going over here, and as you can see, I have generally pulled them out. The only thing that's still going is the basic circuit because there's still copper, and we will wait until the copper is used up, and then we will take this off because now we have the other one going. We'll just let it run out, and then once it's done, we'll tear this out. But we tore out our stone brick making process, and we tore out our steel plate making process because they were small time, and we're making them a lot easier over there. Plus all the running back and forth, so that's all taken care of. So we are kind of where we're at on the green science stuff for right now. We do have down here in our storage, we do have some of the green science capsule things, that we got from making the seeds and stuff. That eventually we will turn them into green science, or the green dirty science, and we will use them. But right now we're working on the green science and the red science, and what's really kind of hamstringing us in a lot of this stuff is our throughput on our products. So we can do a few things to help with that. One of the things we can do, and we are going to eventually do, but we're not going to do it on camera, we're going to do it off camera, is we can increase the size of our production. We're going to double this. We're going to make another set of it, probably down here, so we've got two of them kind of thing and what have you. That's a long-term thing. We got to build all the materials for it and what have you. In the short term, there's a couple of things we can do. We can upgrade all of this stuff because this is all induction furnace 1, blast furnace 1, what have you. And a number of these items, we now have the ability to make the second tier. And it's just going to increase our crafting speed, which certainly is going to help with our production. The other thing we can do is we can incorporate some of our new technologies, which is what we're going to do today. And the last thing that we can do is there are some technologies that we can move forward on, which will increase our production. So let's look at that first, though. So let's go here to technologies. Now, I picked these ones out the end of last episode, and after some thinking about things and some head scratching, we're going to change some of this around. We're going to keep sniper rifle, obviously, because it's almost all the way finished finally. But we are going to get rid of, for the time being, the rest of these. And the reason we're going to do that is we're going to add a couple other technologies in instead. The first one we're going to do is cooling solutions, which is going to give us these cooling towers and purified water. This isn't really what we're shooting for right now. We're shooting for this as a gateway technology. But we're going to take that, and that's going to open up strand casting. And strand casting is going to open up a strand casting machine, which, used to do metals and things like that, which potentially down the road is going to increase our throughput. But again, this is not why we're taking this technology. We're taking this technology as yet another gateway technology, but we're going to take it because then that's going to open up these down here. And specifically, it's going to open up Advanced Iron Casting 2. And what Iron Casting 2 is going to allow us to do is, in an induction furnace, we're going to be able to combine our silicone ingots that we've been making and our iron ingots and double our iron production, basically. We're not really doubling it because we're adding silicone to the mix, but silicone right now is an unused material. So we are, in effect, doubling our iron output. So we're taking these two technologies in order to get to this advanced iron casting. So it's going to take us a little bit because this is 250, this is 100, and this is 150. But it's only the red and the green. What's holding us up right now with the sniper rifle is the military science. It's really slow to make because we're not making much in the way of materials. But that right there, just by itself, is going to double our iron output just by these three technologies. And I don't think in order to do this, other than having to put in induction furnace number 2s, which we want to do anyway, there's no other technology that there's no other buildings or anything that we have to add to that. We're simply getting a new way of doing it. So that's going to be a big help. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to go back and we're going to snag the trains and we're going to snag the car. Because that way we can start looking at setting up a railway station as we increase our island space, which we are certainly intending to do. I don't know if we're going to do green geo right now. I think what we're going to do, not that I really want to get into the fluid handling side of the house quite yet, but I think we're going to take the fluid handling tech. It's a relatively cheap tech. We can start actually looking at what it takes to make this stuff, because we are going to eventually need to get into crude oil and all of that stuff. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and take it. And I think that's going to be our new research queue for now. So let's talk about the third way of increasing, because that was the fourth way, right, is to incorporate the new technologies. The third way, is to go after new technologies. The third way is to incorporate current technologies. So one of the things that we have researched along the way is ore processor 1, right? This ore processor. So let me move this over a little bit so we got some working space here. So currently, in order to make steel, our iron ingots, right? In order to make one iron ingot, or in order to make iron ingots, when it pumps them out, we go over here and we look, it's making 24 at a time, and it's requiring 24 iron ore. So basically 1 to 1, right? So if we have a piece of iron ore, we need 24 of them, and in return we are going to get 24 ingots, right? So that's the ratio. We put in 24, we get out 24, and that's just kind of what we're getting there, right? That's our current technology. So let's look at what this little puppy here does for us. And we're going to go over here and we're going to start with the iron ingots, okay? And if we get, in order to get 24 iron ingots, we need to have 8 processed iron. And that's what this is going to do for this. This is going to let us process. So in order to get 24, we need 8. So if we have a processed iron ore, we need 8 of them, right? In order to get a processed iron ore, it takes 4 iron ore and gives us 2 processed iron ores. So if we need 8, 2 times 4 is 8, so 4 times 4 is 16. So over here, we need 16 to get to our 24 ingots. As opposed to needing 24. So it's going to give us, by putting this in, it's going to give us about a 50% increase. I think if the numbers are right, it's about a 50% increase in our iron ingot output. Now, the only other thing we got to do with this is we have to add, two charcoal to the process. So it's going to cost us 2 charcoal to get from here to here and a machine. And we've already got plenty of charcoal coming over. We're making a ton of charcoal. Now we are going to eventually have to increase our charcoal production because we're going to have to increase our electrical production and things like that. But in the meantime, this alone is going to allow us to bump up our iron and our copper, because we can do this with copper as well, by 50% just by installing one of these, or one for each of the process lines. So that's what we're going to do. The trouble is, like most things Factorio, we have built ourselves very little room, especially Factorio Seablock, because you don't have much room. So we have to put it between here and here. And there's really no place here to do that. So what I think we're going to do, we can certainly do it for this one, right? Because we can fit that in here, like right there. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to plop this puppy down right here. We're going to insert, and yeah, we can do that. Well, you know what? Even better, we can do this. We can just move it down one, and then we can insert, and insert, and electric, and tell that to process copper. And now we're going to change this to processed copper. Okay, well, apparently processed copper is going to require oxygen. So we're going to have to put oxygen into this. I did not know that. It didn't come up on the thing, but that's easy enough for us to incorporate. We just have to do this. Right? Take this out. And put that in there. Right? Because that is oxygen. Yes, that's oxygen. There we go. So now we have oxygen coming in, and now we are making our copper at 50% more efficiency. Now I wonder if we're going to need oxygen for this. Let's look real quick. No, apparently this we're not going to need oxygen. It's just the copper that requires the additional oxygen. Now we're already putting charcoal into this process as part of the fueling process, right? So we're just adding charcoal to the charcoal input, so it's going to be just fine. We've already got the input. It's just the copper that's going to need the additional input of oxygen. So now we're going to have to change this out. You know, these are going to have to be induction furnace 2s to keep up and blah, blah, blah. But like I say, that is the level 2 of increasing this throughput, is to increase these to better machinery. But in the meantime, Now we've increased it by 50% simply by putting in one piece of equipment. The problem is, how do we do that over here? How do we get this to happen over here? Take that back to that for now. And go ahead and since we slowed up our works, let's put that in. So my thought process is to bring these lines out somewhere over here where we have space, and then to bring them back. It's going to get a little spaghetti, and it's going to add extra stuff to the belt, but I think that that's going to be our solution for now, is if we bring these two lines, like say up this way, and then bring them back in somehow, maybe around this way or something. That's going to be what we're going to need to do to get this done. We'll see if we can do it. I think we can squeeze it in through here. We're going to find out. So 1, 2. So if we do here, that gives us an opening. That gives us an opening. Snake out, right? Now this is going to kill our iron production for a few, but we can live with that until we get this done. So that's going to take us out. This is going to bring us back. Now the question becomes, can we reason I'm doing that is to give myself an extra square to be able to turn. Okay, so that's going to bring us up. All right. And then where do we fit 2 of these and then bring it back down? Fitting them up there is easy. Getting these 2 back in is the tough part. Yeah, let's do it this way. I know we could use just one there, but the problem with that is where do we put that other one? I guess we could. Let's do this. We could do that, right? And then that saves us an underground. Then we're going to want to come down here and here. Like that. So, do we have any more yellow undergrounds? Because that's a stretch there. We can make it work. You know what? Let's just make it work. Let's just make it work. Same way we did that, we'll make that work. Okay. So then, if we put one here, and we put one here, then we can, well, I'd like to have a decent throughput on this. I'd like to have a decent throughput on this. Let's look at something here. If we go there, no, we can't make them that long. We can't make them that long. Well, we could still do it, though. We could still do it, maybe. Because if we put an inserter here, that inserter will pick up from there. So we could potentially do it here. Make it a long inserter. Would pick up from there. We may need to move that up one more to get them both to fit. All right. So we do it from there. Right? And that should pick off of that. And we put one there. And that'll pick off of that. And then we do 1, 2, 1, 2. And then we go here to here. That should give us... Oh, wait. No, we don't need that because that's picking off of there. All right, so that should give us that. And then we just need to pick them off. And come the other way, come back. Right? Yeah. We're going to do it this way so that it doubles up the sides of that belt. We probably don't need to, but we're going to. And then that should cover everybody. Let's see how that does. Right, so our jam up now is here. What do we got jammed up down here? Why is that not going anywhere? All right, so we're out of oxygen. So we're going to have to supply some more oxygen to the system. We don't have enough oxygen. And we don't have enough oxygen because we're missing that. Right? Now we should have enough oxygen in the system. That should be okay. There we go. So somehow we lost ourselves an underground. But that's okay. So then this just needs to change to this. Right? Yeah, there it is. So now we got them going. Now we just need to change these to induction furnace 2s. Do I have any induction furnace 2s? No, induction furnace 1s. What's it take for an induction furnace 2? That's casting machines. Induction furnace 2, we need an induction furnace, and then we need steel stuff. Alright, well we have 2 induction furnace 1s, so we can grab 2 induction furnace 2s. And then putting them down there will give us back 2 induction furnace 2s. Right? And just by doing that, that will make them faster by half a tick. Because these are 1.5s and these are 1s. So it'll just make it that much faster to process. But then we have to increase the speed on our casting machines. And casting machine 1s, we can make casting machine 2s. And we'll make another induction furnace for our copper. Is that the right orientation? There's the right orientation there. Right? So now we have we have casting 2s, induction 2s. At some point we can go to blast furnace 2s, which we will probably do next. Let's go over here and replace this induction furnace. And now we can make another casting machine too. And make sure it's the right orientation. Right? So there's that. Now, if we really want to, blast furnace 2. Can we make another blast furnace 2? We're out of clay brick and we're out of steel. Alright. Well, we're making clay brick, so we got it in here. I just want to make sure We didn't have any on hand first in our scrap pile over there. And then we need some steel. Which we're still waiting on this line to fill up because we still keep stealing from it. But it is, you know, it is sort of getting there. Now that we've increased our iron, let's hope that that will help us to increase that sum. So there it is. So now these are all upgraded to level 2s. I do not believe... Yeah, we only have ore processing 1. We can't go to ore processing 2. But now we can start looking at the powder mixing and stuff like that. But we are noticeably more iron production. And that will, in turn... give us more steel production, etc., etc. Because we need the iron ingots to do the steel. So now we have definitely increased that. And we should be good to go. So what we're going to do off camera, guys, is we're going to go through and we're going to upgrade more of these furnaces and induction furnaces and what have you. We're going to upgrade all this stuff to level 2. We're going to go ahead and do it off camera, though, because it's kind of boring. But I wanted to show you guys what we're up to. We're just kind of trying to increase our production rates at this point. All right. I will talk to you later. You guys have a good evening. Bye.